Adam, how are you? It looks like there's some changes over there.
Yeah, no. Yes, there is. I was trying to see anything that changed.
I know, there's literally nothing new behind you. What is that? What's that little thing off to the side by the rainbow? A cup?
Oh, yeah, those are some cups. Some cups right there.
Oh.
I got a haircut.
Yeah.
For summer.
I already asked listeners, if he's planning on bleaching it, and he said no. He's not doing a funky color.
No. Not right now, at least. I'm giving her time to, heal, to be
It's time
to be
for
okay.
her to heal.
It's time for her to heal.
Time in this household, in the Nova household,
Mm-hmm.
How fast does your hair grow? Do you have a fast growing?
Not
hair?
fast. No. Usually it's like 8 weeks. When I get like the same cut, it's like 8 weeks to get to the point where I'm like, it's like long enough that I'm like, okay, now I need to cut it again.
Yeah.
But like RJ's hair grows super fast. Like he could probably get his hair cut every 3 weeks, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Mine is longer. So we'll be looking like this for a little bit.
I'm sure with a buzz cut though, it will feel like it grows out faster, obviously, because it's a buzz cut. So like any slight difference, you'll notice pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Look
it
at
was
me
weird washing
like
it this morning.
I've gotten a buzz cut. Like,
honestly, I do think you don't give Butch tea, but I do think you have a great head shape.
Oh, thank you. You know what I should do is one of those where you like ask. Well, no, you know what? I shouldn't ask AI, but like get like a photo of myself and then like try and like see what it would look like with the buzz cut. I think I've done like a short bob before, but that's the shortest I've gone. Because
You've never done pixie.
No. I had a good friend in college that did pixie, Jessica Benson. And I remember she, well, maybe now she'd feel differently about it. But at the time, I remember she was just desperate to get it grown back out again. So I think because someone so close to me had that experience, I was very much like, ooh, okay, I don't know if I would go that far.
I think you put a lot of, this is not a read. I think you value your hair a lot.
Yeah,
I think you put a lot of effort into it. And I think if you didn't have it as an expression of yourself, I think you would be like, what else do I have to?
Yeah, it would be weird for me because I'm not like a makeup girly. I don't really do that. I wear like very minimal.
Yeah, this is all natural, honey. You bitches wish you could, honey.
I wish I was. Do you know how many friends that were like really good at makeup that I was like, I wish I could. Like, I always feel like when I try to do my makeup, I literally look like a teenager trying to do makeup, but like not doing it. It never looks the way that
it's for sure an art skill.
Yes,
like the Melinda, the really impressive stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Melinda's really good at makeup, and so whenever
but Melinda makes sense because she also has like an artist kind of eye too.
Yeah. That's the thing. Whenever I would try to start doing a little bit more makeup, I would always be like, Melinda, how do you do your makeup? Because it's like we don't have the same coloring, but similar feature.
Melinda has like such a steady hand. Her eyeliner will be like, it'll be like a dagger. Like it's like so the fine point of her eyeliner is so precise that it's like, wow.
I know she hasn't done eyeliner in so long though. I can't even remember when she used to really do her eyebrows. Always used to be like literally like they were like pasted like twins, like two like pasted on eyebrows when she would like fill them in. But yeah, now I get my like. Well, I just started getting my brows tinted again, and then I tint my lashes because I'm like the less I have to do, the better. Because I just feel like I'm not good at it. And also when you're very pale and you try to wear mascara, it rubs off so easily under your eyes, and then you get like the mascara crease. So it's like it literally looks like you have little black lines. So I don't even wear mascara on my like bottom lashes anymore. Just because I'm lazy. If I was good at makeup, I probably would do makeup like more often. But I'm just like, I don't know how to do it. It's too much work for me, and it doesn't look good enough to put in that much work.
Yeah.
Anyway, Adam, how are you? Other than your hair diaries, How's it going over there? We've got an exciting.
Great. We're going on vacation tomorrow as of recording.
Yes.
So that'll be fun. We're going to Epic Universe.
Once this is posted, you'll have already gone.
We're already back. Yeah. We went to yes, right. Yeah, we went to Epic Universe. It was great. It slayed.
You can catch the shameless plug for the Close Friends Patreon listeners. Do you want to hear about the trip chronicles?
Patreon.com/ did you read the group chat? Mm-hmm.
You can only get it over there. It will not be talked about here on the YouTube. Anyways, enough about the weather. Let's get into this chapter, shall we?
Yeah.
This week we read.
Well, we're going to be talking about rain.
Yeah, we are. A rain inside, nonetheless.
Indoor rain.
This week we read chapter 13 called the Muggle-born Registration Commission. Adam, what happens in this chapter?
Hermione.
Yeah. Hermione.
Secures the horcrux. You know what? And they escape the ministry.
Hermione did that.
It's true. She's the one who got it.
Hermione did that.
She actually tangibly got it.
Any book. Hermione did that.
I'm curious I don't remember what the other ones are. I'm curious if in this one she has like Hermione get this one and then Ron gets another one and then Harry. I'm trying to we'll have to see.
Ron.
Let's track it.
Yeah, Ron does. There is a very important moment with Ron where things would have. I mean, Voldemort would have never died if there wasn't this one moment with Ron that's coming up in this book.
There you go, a little tickle and a tease for the for the series.
Yeah, I do remember that. There's something. The whole King's Cross chapter. Apparently, I don't have a single recollection of that chapter in my brain, but I remember a lot of other stuff or the Snape memory montage.
Somebody commented and they were like, oh, Alpheus Doge is in the order. Because I was like, well, Alpheus Doge doesn't need to know that Harry's there. And they were like, Alpheus Doge is in the order because he was one of the people who helped get Harry in book 5 or something like that. He was part of the like whatever. And I was like, oh.
He was?
Mm-hmm.
Are you for real?
Somebody said.
Did you double check it?
Did I double check? No, Ari, I don't double check anything.
I wonder if they're thinking of
Doge.
What's his name? Daedalus?
Daedalus Diggle. In the summer of 1995, Doge was part of the advance guard in which he met Harry Potter.
Okay.
Which means what? The advance guard upon arrival at Fort Privet Drive.
Okay. So Harry would have remembered him from that interaction, basically. But.
Yeah. So I guess it's fine that Arthur told him that Harry was there because he's in the order.
Wow. See, this is where I'm like, I pride myself on being like having a lot of Harry Potter lore that just like lives in my brain at all times. But hats off to y'all that like remember this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think I have won Harry Potter trivias like
there are just especially toward the back half of the series there are just so many characters that get introduced and then she'll just reuse them later, which is fine. Like that's you've made up a character. So it's just it's just so hard to keep track of because there's like 200 fucking characters in this book series.
Yeah. Also, I would not remember that. That's crazy.
No.
Wow. Okay, well, great. What did you think about this chapter? What did you think about it? Because I was like, I was listening to it in the car, but I was like on the edge of my seat.
Oh, because I'm leading this chapter. I was like, why are you asking me? Lead the chapter, Ari. It's my turn. What the fuck? It's
my turn. Yeah.
What did I think about it?
Was it a chapter where you were more invested with what was happening than like previous chapters? Because this was the first one I think so far that I was pretty much the whole chapter, I was like, wow, yeah, I'm invested.
It's actually very hard for me to answer this question because the chapters where I have to take notes, I'm so much in and out of the chapter writing.
No, I get that.
Like,
I get that.
It's very hard for me to like maintain the flow of the chapter.
Yeah.
So yes, to some extent I was like, this is finally like action is happening.
Yeah.
But even though we've already had like the broom chase in obviously when they left Privet Drive, which was a crazy sequence.
Yeah.
But yeah, to some extent, yeah, I was definitely like on pins and needles. I also did not remember a single part of this chat. Not a thing. You could have asked me I basically read this like I was reading this book for the first time. There are parts of me reading the 7th book that I know I speed ran it so fast when I read it, the only time I read it, that I almost was like, did I just skip did I just like skip chapters? Like,
did you accidentally turn like an extra
like,
page?
This is the problem is like, I was so intent on finishing this fucking book so then I could be done with the series and I could be one of the first to be like, I know what happens, even though I would never tell people what happened. I'm not that kind of person. But I just wanted to get it done so that, you know, I had the bragging power of being, because I had a friend who like would finish these books in like 5 hours, like same night. Leah Phillipson.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like huge fast reader.
I could never read that fast. Obviously now I know I have dyslexia, but like I could not fathom reading a book that fast.
No, I couldn't now. Because I don't read as often now. It like, I like have to like sit and then be like, what do I think about that? Okay.
She wouldn't spoil it for you, right? Like she wouldn't.
No.
Okay, yeah.
But she would be like, I'm already done.
Yeah,
like,
I already know what happens. Yeah.
Because I would see her at church or whatever on Sunday. I'd be like, oh my God, did you finish it? And she'd be like, I finished it that night. And I'd be like, it's 700 pages. How?
I don't know if I would ever want to finish a book in one night. I like, I mean, sometimes if it's really good and I don't want things spoiled, I'll really try to get through it. But like, I like being able to be in that world for like as long as I can.
I like taking the time, but I do understand, I'm not this person, but I do understand the book people that are like, I just want to read as many books as possible. Just to like, because it takes so long to read a book versus like watching movies or whatever. Yeah. That it's like, if you want to get your book count higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing like that must be like binging TV shows. Like I'm like, I will, like you have to stop me from watching like a whole season, like all the way through right away. Because a lot of times I'll be like, I just want to keep watching. I don't want to stop.
So the chapter starts out and Dolores Umbridge is like, oh, but the elevator doors had just opened. Oh my God, Mafalda, what a chance, opportunity to grab you. And I think we're going to take you and you're going to be basically, she's going to be the person who stenographer. She's going to be the stenographer for the court meeting.
Yeah.
And Mafalda, obviously Hermione is like, sure, absolutely. Thank God Hermione was a note taker. Thank God
Hermione was Hermione.
Right.
Oh, they're my dogs. If you heard that little,
that was
just a little arf, arf.
And then we do find out officially, I don't know if he had said the full name last time, but Arthur Runcorn is who Harry is.
Is it Arthur?
The body.
Albert,
sorry.
Albert Runcorn.
Albert. I'll just call him Runcorn from now on, honestly. But yes,
Runcorn.
Albert.
What a weird last name. There was a last name. There was a last name in this, though. There was a town name that is very close to me.
Oh.
Yeah. We're taking the train out of there on Friday to London. Yeah, Bletchley.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I didn't write down Bletchley.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You wouldn't.
So, Albert Runcorn is who Harry is in the body of.
Mm-hmm.
We had kind of figured it out from the last chapter that he's probably not the greatest guy on Earth.
It doesn't seem like it. No,
we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
So so he steps out of the elevator. He runs into Pious Thickness, which is who Dolores had just been talking to.
Yeah. In the robes.
The Minister of Magic.
Yeah.
In the robes. So he has a long black robe or long black beard and long black hair with streaks of gray, streaks of silver, which is not how I picture the Minister. I always anytime anyone is described as having a beard, it's so weird to me because in the movie visually they just make that like Dumbledore's the one with the beard, and no one else really has a beard.
No one else really has one. Yeah, well, Hagrid, and Hagrid,
to that kind of like refined, like long, beard thing.
Yeah.
So he talks to Pious Thickness. Pious is like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm looking for Arthur Weasley." And he was like, "Oh, is he a blood traitor? Did we catch him with one of the undesirables?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh no, just wanted to chat with him. Just wanted to have a quick chat."
Nothing like that. Nothing.
Nothing
nefarious.
serious. Just I heard he went and saw Cats last night in the West End, and I wanted to know if it was good, if I should bring my wife and kids to see it.
Yeah, you know. I love a Weber musical.
I love Weber. The Death Eaters are all Andrew Lloyd Webber fans.
They're like, "Oh yes, let me know what he tells you. Get back to me."
Oh my god. So yeah, then Pious is like, "Oh yeah, the blood traders are as bad as mudbloods. We're just out." It's just like we don't even 5 books ago, 6 books ago. When is book 2? 5 books ago.
When is
Draco Malfoy? Literally, it was like 4 years ago for us. But Draco Malfoy was like, "You fucking mudblood bitch,"
and everyone was like,
and everyone lost their marbles. And now the Minister of Magic is like, "Fucking blood traders, fucking mudblood
bitch." Yeah.
We've devolved very quickly.
Yeah.
So Pious leaves. I can't believe his name is Pious, by the way. I think that's crazy.
I know. Pious Thickness.
Pious is like the name of popes. There were many popes named Pious. Anyway.
Oh, yikes.
So he's wandering the corridors trying to figure out where Dolores's office is, basically. He ends up putting on his invisibility cloak, and he has to like squat down because Runcorn is so big that in order to not be seen, he has to squat down.
How did 3 of them fit under this cloak at one point? It's like sometimes it works, sometimes it's like a little expandable cloak, and then other times it's like, nope, that's all you get.
It's the fucking cape at the end of Wicked Part 1, where like Galinda puts this cape around her, and it's just like as tall as Cynthia Erivo, which is 4'10", by the way. And then she gets up into the sky, and it's like short billowing. I think she's like 5 foot. She's like 4'11" or 5 foot.
Cynthia Erivo is.
Cynthia Erivo, yeah.
Wow.
Itty bitty. And then, but then she gets in the sky, and it's like reaching the stratosphere. Like it's like the biggest cape you've ever seen in your life.
It's like 3 times
this is the invisibility cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So he's wandering around, and he's like kicking himself because apparently in their month of like figuring out what they were going to do, the only thing they'd ever figured out was how they were going to get in. They had no plan post getting into the Ministry of Magic.
We're just going to get in there and then, figure it out.
And then we're going to figure it out, and we're just going to wing it. We're just going to wing it. So here's
improvise,
the thing.
Yes, and.
I don't totally listen. They're 17. I wouldn't even consider them a legal adult. Okay. But it is frustrating. And then he's like, and we definitely for sure as hell never planned on being separated.
There had to be a risk of that no matter what you did.
Do you think they could have could you polyjuice potion into a house elf?
I don't know, actually. It says it's not recommended for non-human transformation, so probably not. We'd have a Hermione cat situation again.
But she lived.
She did.
She did.
She'd just be a little part elf for the rest of her life.
So they never planned on being separated. So this is like the worst possible scenario, and they just never thought it would happen. They didn't even consider it as a possibility.
It's so crazy that there wasn't like a, because I think what I would say is like, okay, we should split up and then like meet back here at this time. Like, I feel like that would be, because you would cover more ground, but also you wouldn't be as suspicious. So I would almost be like, we have to split up.
This is why I don't even know what was their plan once they got in. They just were all gonna walk into Umbridge's office and be like, "Excuse me, we're just looking for her locket. So sorry."
Well, there's the bit too where Harry is like, "Oh, it probably was unlikely that she would like have it at the Ministry," and I was like, "Then what are you doing?" Like, I was like, "But she does have it." But I was like, "Yeah, it's not like sitting in. She doesn't have a jewelry box in her office." With all her jewelry.
No, she's so feminine, Ari. You have to remember she's such a girl.
How dare she have ribbons and bows and little hair clips?
Disgusting. So he finally finds Umbridge's office. He finds, because there's a bunch of people who are like seated as though they're students in a classroom. But they're not classroom desks. They're like office desks. And they're making pamphlets out of thin air, by the way. They're creating pamphlets that say...
Take that, Canva.
That say, like, is someone you know Muggle-born? Bitch, they're gross. That's basically what they say. What do they say?
It's the whole the flower and the weed bullshit.
Mudbloods and the dangers they pose to a peaceful, pureblood society. And there's a picture of a red rose, which is, I'm just picturing the Alice in Wonderland sequence, by the way.
I was going to say that. Yes.
I knew you were going to have the same thought. I just picture the red rose from Alice in Wonderland, and then there's like a weed strangling it. So the weed is Muggles.
With like a little like face, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, little teeth.
So they're making all these pamphlets. They're very focused on what they're doing. And then he sees the door to her official office. And one of the like people in the room is like, is the hag gone? Yeah, and someone else, first of all, slay to this person.
Yeah.
Someone else is like, be quiet. Don't say anything. You're going to get in trouble. And she's like, what? Does she have magical ears now that she has a magical eye? And then he looks at the door and notices that Mad-Eye Moody's eyeball is in the door. Inset into the door.
A horrible woman.
Not moving. By the way, just like...
Yeah, it's like looking like up, isn't it? Yeah. Which like what... So what does that mean then? Are we supposed to think...
I have a lot of questions about the eyeball.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand. It's a camera now. The eyeball's a camera.
Yeah.
That's what it's turned into.
And apparently she can look out the back of the eyeball.
Oh, yeah. It's a whole... Yeah. We'll get to it. So the eye is inset in the door. Obviously, Harry's upset by this.
Yeah.
And so he uses a decoy detonator as a distraction. He sets it. It walks into the like a separate corner of the room and basically like explodes. It lets off a lot of like smoke.
Smoke screen.
So everybody goes over and is like, oh. It's very like video game where you have to like throw a thing for someone to like be distracted and then you like sneak around them.
Yeah.
So he sneaks into the office. He's finally inside. It looks just like her office in Hogwarts, which we know is bad because it's the color pink. And we know it's bad because it's pink and it's feminine.
We don't want it. We don't like it. It can't be pink.
She has on the back of the door, there is a telescope attached to the eyeball. So he like looks through it, and you can basically like use it to. She uses it to spy on her staff.
Yeah. Cool. Didn't know that was a function of the eyeball, but apparently it is.
Sure, it's whatever. So then he starts looking around the room. He's digging into her desk and stuff.
He's digging into her drawers.
Sorry, that's really gross.
Her desk drawers.
Her desk drawers. The drawers of her desk.
Yeah.
He finds the Weasley file, which says like Arthur, pure blood, really likes Muggles, which is nasty.
Known blood traitor.
Right. Known member of Order of the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's first time
Molly
we've really
Weasley, pure blood, shit ton of kids. Oh, no, I don't even think it says Molly. It says it's Arthur and then family. So it's family, one wife, pure blood, 7 children. Youngest son is currently severely ill, ministry officials confirm.
There we go. We know that. Yeah, they bought the ruse.
It's just so funny to me. I'm curious if anyone's listening. If you were reading this book, is that the thing that would have bumped you if she hadn't explained why they didn't ask about Ron? Like, I just feel like there are other things that I feel like I don't know if she's great at explaining or just does one of these like it's fine. But the Ron not being at school thing, she's like, no, I have to have a full story with multiple points referencing it. It's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
So yes, the ministry officials have confirmed Ron is sick. And then what was the third thing it said? It said one more thing. Sorry, I should have written it down.
Harry has stayed there with them.
Oh yes, undesirable number 1.
So they're like, he's going to contact him.
Security status tracked. All movements are being monitored. Strong likelihood undesirable number 1 will contact, parentheses, has stayed with Weasley family previously.
Yeah.
So before Harry can even question who undesirable number 1 is, because bitch, it's not Voldemort. He looks up and there's a big poster of him on the wall with saying undesirable number 1. It's basically like the FBI top 10 most wanted or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's number 1.
Number 1.
And then she wrote personally on his poster, needs to be punished. She's like weird. She's like weird and gross.
The weird obsession. It's weird. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Girl, you could have had a full career as like a paid dominatrix. Like you could have done that. That could have been your gig.
Your calling.
The bag could have been secured, darling dear.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. So he happens to, as he's looking around the room, he's not finding anything. He happens to spot a picture of Dumbledore, which catches him off guard, and then he realizes that it's actually a copy of the Rita Skeeter book.
It's the book.
So he goes over to the book to pick it up. He opens it to a random page. He sees a photo of a 20-ish year old Dumbledore.
Yeah.
With like long shoulder length hair and then like just enough of a beard that it's like not grown in, so it looks kind of gross. And then he's with a friend who's very smiley.
Mm-hmm. Is it golden? Shoulder length golden hair. Very German. Right? Wasn't it? I know it was shoulder length.
Harry opened the book at random and saw a full-paged photograph of 2 teenage boys both laughing photograph of 2 teenage boys both laughing immoderately with their arms around each other's shoulders. Dumbledore, now with elbow-length hair, had grown a tiny wispy beard that recalled the one on Crum's chin that had so annoyed Ron. I'm trying to sound like
so annoyed Ron.
What's his name? Who did the books? Who did the audiobooks?
Oh gosh.
Him. I'm trying to sound like him.
Yeah.
The boy who roared in silent amusement beside Dumbledore had a gleeful, wild look about him. His golden hair... Jim Dale. His golden hair fell into curls to his shoulders.
Yeah.
Harry wondered whether it was a young doge, but before he could check the caption, the door to the office opened.
Not a young doge.
Not
Harry,
a young
remember
doge.
He had dragon pox. Come on. Remember the details.
He didn't go on the trip. He didn't go on the trip, diva. So yes, so the door opens and Pious Thickness just walks his ass into the office.
Yeah, this was like a little crazy to me. I was like, I mean, I guess he can go wherever he wants. He's the minister, but like he came in to like leave a note on her desk. I was like, whoa, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to
none of these people who are doing nefarious acts should be putting anything in writing, in my opinion, but what do I know?
That's
just my legal counsel.
Magic is might now.
Magic is might.
We don't have anything
Magic
to hide.
is Mighty Mouse. So Thickness walks in. He surprises Harry, who he says like, luckily Pious had like turned around to close the door behind him, so it gave Harry just enough time to like put the cloak back over him. But he did think he saw maybe something, and so he stared at the like spot for a couple seconds before he was like, oh, maybe it was just I saw Dumbledore brush his nose on the cover of the book. Because then she does the thing again where she inputs a separate thought into the middle of the sentence. She says like, I just don't know why they keep letting her write like this, because it's not good writing. It really is bothering me. Perhaps deciding that all he had seen was Dumbledore scratching his nose on the front of the book, for Harry had hastily replaced it upon the shelf, Thickness finally walked to the desk and pointed his wand at the quill standing ready in the ink pot. Like, past action and then present act. Why are you writing it? Anyway, it bothers me. Okay, so he walks over to the desk. He leaves a note on her desk. Harry manages to slip out, which I don't know how, because the door closed.
Yeah, I had that thought as well. I was like, but he didn't leave the door open.
She said he closed the door behind him. Anyway, Harry left.
Yikes.
So then he leaves the like little office. The staff are all still surrounding the like defunct Daedalus Diggle. What is it called? Decoy detonator. The
defunct Daedalus Diggle.
He goes down to the elevators. He gets in. He takes his cloak off. The next floor, he stops on floor 2. Ron gets back in. And he's like, Ron, it's me. And he's like, oh, I had such a hard time. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I forgot what you looked like.
It stops on floor 3, and Arthur Weasley gets in. Mm-hmm. And he gives Harry the craziest evil stank look. Yeah. Arthur Weasley has probably ever produced. Yeah. And so they're like, oh. And so he does address Ron, who, again, his last name is Cattermole.
Reg Cattermole.
Reg Cattermole. So he's like, oh, Reg, isn't your wife being interrogated? Why are you here? And he was like, oh, I had to do a thing. Explained what happened. And that's when Arthur's like, oh, try this spell because that helped the last time this happened. So I heard or whatever. So Ron's like, great. He gets out of the elevator. There is no way Ron completed this task. There's simply no way. I just want to be clear. That didn't happen.
It's so funny, too, how Harry, like, literally was, like, bashing on Ron's magic skills at one point. Like, he was like...
Yes, he says. He was like, I should be with Ron helping him because he's certainly out of his depth or whatever.
Yeah. I was like, there is no way he can handle this. I was like, damn, girl, that's your friend. I was like...
Yeah. Diva boots.
Read you, wrote you.
Uh-huh. So, Ron gets out of the elevator. Harry goes to also get out of the elevator, but is blocked by Percy, who is like reading a parchment or whatever, and gets on the elevator.
Percy.
Then Percy like notices that Arthur's on the elevator. Then he's like gets all red and flustered and leaves on the next floor. So now we're just left with Harry and Arthur. Okay, just to be clear of who's getting on and off the elevator. There's so much elevator discussion in this chapter. It's crazy.
This is the elevator. This is the elevator chapter.
I also had the full realization in this moment that when they get flushed to the atrium, that's like the bottom floor. And then they take the elevator to go up. So the first floor is just like the first floor just under subterranean. So it's like the basement level of like any regular office building.
Yeah.
Is where the minister is. And then it goes like down from there. It's so strange.
Yeah.
I had to like, it's like kind of backwards. Or it's like you took a skyscraper and then just like sunk it into the floor.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain, I have to like do things like that. Otherwise it doesn't. I will get lost and be like, I don't know where we are. I can't understand.
What floor are we on? What direction did we go?
I totally forgot to mention that Arthur earlier in this chapter gets on with a woman with very teased hair that resembles an anthill. By the way, again, Joe
so
does
specific.
not like anything about like women taking care of their appearance or whatever, doing anything it's just so crazy.
Except if it's Hermione, who like typically is like frizzy haired and stuff like that, and then she just does it for like a special occasion, like for the that's the only time she kind of talks about it in like a positive light, and that is even problematic because it's the whole like ugly duckling becomes a swan bullshit, which is kind of like icky.
So anyway, this woman who Arthur had gotten on with earlier in this elevator, her name is Wakanda. I really had to just shout out that her name was fucking Wakanda. I was like, are you kidding? There's no way it means something.
I missed that because I was listening to it. So he said the name so quickly, and I was like, I have no idea what name he just said. She did not name her Wakanda.
She named her Wakanda with her tall blonde hair that resembled an anthill.
Wakanda forever.
It's so crazy. I just was like, wow, that is... In 2025, that reads so much funnier than it did when I read it in 2007 or whatever.
Wakanda.
Okay. So now that Arthur and Harry, a.k.a. Runcorn, are alone in this elevator, Arthur is like, hey, look, buddy boy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because we still... Do we ever learn what Runcorn's job is? Like, I can't tell. Is he higher than Arthur? Is he...
Yeah.
I don't know. So he's
just
like,
a bad guy.
I heard you're the one who put the info out on Dirk Cresswell about how he's not pure blood or something like that, basically.
Was Dirk Cresswell a character from another book? I'm just
Googling now because I don't trust us to know. I don't trust us to know, Ari.
Dirk.
He is a favorite student of potions master Horace Slughorn.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Heard the name. I have heard the name before. So, he was a part of the Slug Club.
Head of the Goblin Liaison Office, another Muggle-born, a very gifted student, and still gives me excellent inside information on the goings-on at Gringotts.
There you go. Yeah. Wow.
So he was Muggle-born, and so he had basically tried to lie, I think, and be like, "Oh no, total pure blood here, diva. Don't look over here.
Yeah.
I'm good, thanks." And so Mr. Runcorn had been like, "He's a fucking liar. He's a liar. He should be locked up."
Yeah, lawyer.
So Arthur is like, "He's 10 times the wizard you'll ever be. You're such a pile of shit. Fuck you."
Yeah,
and then gets out of the elevator. That's the end of it. Harry has like just enough chance to be like, they're surveilling you. They're watching your every move. They're tracking your movements.
You know you're being watched. It's a fact. You're being watched.
And then
basically.
Arthur's like, "Oh, so you're trying to scare me or whatever?" And he was like, "No, I'm trying to fucking warn you." He probably should. He probably couldn't have said, "I'm Harry." I don't think Arthur would have believed him in that moment.
No,
it's too fast. But
we also don't know like what type of magical surveillance there is like at the ministry, really. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable.
Oh, I feel like I assume that there's none because how did 3 people who just used polyjuice potions get the fuck in?
Do you know what, though, actually? I thought about that last chapter because I was like, isn't there a whole, like, enchantment in Gringotts where it's, like, any type of, like, magical illusion is, like, washed away? And so then, obviously, it's revealed that they're, like, not who they're pretending to be at one point. And I was like, they have that at Gringotts, you can't have that at the ministry? Like, when you flush in with the toilet?
Especially because, like, Polyjuice Potion is set up in the second book as, like, super advanced magic for second years. It's advanced because they're 12.
Yeah.
Like, now at this point in the series, we have characters using Polyjuice Potion every other fucking minute.
Yeah, like, almost at least every couple
I would
books,
be like, I feel like there would be a constant threat of Polyjuice Potion.
Yeah. Or just like constantly thinking it could be a possibility in the world. Yeah. I would never trust anyone. Anytime I'd get coffee with someone, I'd be like, what was the name of my childhood stuffed animal? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I would be like, I'm not telling you shit about what's going on with my life. What was the name of my first cat? What was the name of the street that I was born on? Like,
you just start asking security questions. Yeah, like, it's
what's my mother's maiden name? Yeah.
What was the first car I drove?
Yeah, exactly. What was the model and make of my first vehicle?
My first pet's name. So Harry gets down to the level that has the court rooms in it because at this point he's like, I have to get Hermione. We gotta go. We're not gonna get this fucking locket. We gotta go. We gotta get out of here.
This was a bad idea.
We shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, this is my idea, but I regret it now.
So he goes down. It's the same level as the mystery Department of Mysteries. Mm-hmm. So he sees the door and he's like, "Oh, audience, remember this from book 5?" And then walks in the other direction.
Yeah.
So he goes down the stairs. He ends up in the courtroom. He starts to immediately feel like cold, despair, loss of hope, which is just the definition of despair. And then depression. And he's like, oh God, there's Dementors. So he rounds the corner and there's like the entire hallway. First of all, in my head, because I am a theater person, I envisioned this as an open call or a callback, let's say. So it's just like the room at the end, which is where they're holding the callbacks.
Yeah.
And then all of the people who are like going over their sides, trying to figure out what the fuck they're going to do, aka what they're going to say in front of this commission.
Yeah.
And then the Dementors are like the stage management and the staff just being like, can we keep it down, please?
Yeah.
Can we keep it down? Out here, thank you. But a little bit worse. Just a little bit worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dementors are patrolling outside the courtroom. He walks by them. As he like gets to the area, there's like a guy who's thrown out. And he's like, no, I swear, I'm like full pure blood. Like you couldn't, I swear to you.
No, he says he's a half-blood.
Oh, does he say?
He says half-blood.
Because you have to have one.
I think was a wizard. So to be like, no, I have a parent who was a wizard, which clearly that doesn't matter either. At this point, they don't give a shit about that either. But yeah, he was very specific that his dad, I believe, was a wizard, and he was like a broomstick manufacturer maker, I think.
Archie Alderton. He was a broomstick designer.
Yeah, designer. Yeah. They don't care.
But apparently half-bloods don't... It doesn't matter. Pure blood only.
You know what? Never mind. I won't say anything because I bet you're going to bring it up. What she says next. Umbridge.
Oh, this is your final warning. If you struggle, you'll get the Dementor's kiss. If you struggle, if you fight do back, worse than death.
You lose your soul.
Mm-hmm.
I would have passed out too. I would have been like, well,
well, good night.
I'll just wake up when I'm in my cell, I guess. Like, it's crazy.
The stress would be so great. Like,
that's what I mean.
Bitch,
yeah.
She died.
Like a woman in like Victorian era. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, do you know what, Adam? I think about that sometimes, how like there was this thing about like back then that women were just like fainting, you know? And I was like, first off, they were in corsets. But also, do you know how much shit women were having to deal with? Think about today. Back then, I'd be just falling out.
They were wearing corsets while they're fully on their period.
And also in the heat.
Could you imagine having stomach cramps and then also being in a corset? So it's like...
That's why they're like, oh, women with their sensitive constitutions. I'm like, no, you just weren't letting them breathe. Like, are you for real?
Well, it's a privilege to breathe, Ari. It's a privilege to breathe.
You should be grateful for the air in your lungs.
By the way, Harry has his invisibility cloak on this whole time, just so we're clear what's happening.
As he's walking, the Dementors can like sense that it literally is like a human that has not lost all hope. Like the description was so intense. I was like, damn, all right.
So, they call Miss Cattermole in, which we obviously know is the wife of who Ron is in the body of, or has doubled the body of, because he's not in his body technically. He's just copying his body. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So Harry sneaks in while she is like ushered into the courtroom, and he makes his way up to where Umbridge, Yaxley, and Mafalda, aka Hermione, are sitting.
Yeah.
There are Dementors all around.
Yeah.
Not great.
No.
And then in front of the three of them up there, like from their like vantage point looking down on Miss Cattermole.
Yeah.
There is like a silver kitten or cat.
Like long-haired cat. Yeah. Yeah.
That's like patrolling. So that's Dolores's Patronus, who's like keeping the negative energy of the Dementors away from the three of them.
Yeah. Yeah,
so I did like that.
Only. All right.
I did like that aspect because I was like, why? There was like a part of me that was like, are we just supposed to assume that she's like, they don't feel the Dementors even anymore? Like, but that's not
because of
that's
that.
not what's
the
happening.
Patronus.
Yeah. So they're questioning Miss Cattermole. They're like, so this is you, and you're a fucking Muggle-born.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I just want to get back home to my kids. My kids are worried sick. And Yaxley says this line of being like, I don't give a fuck about your mudblood filth kids or whatever, or something like that. And I was like,
yeah,
we've lost the plot.
Yeah.
We've lost the whole damn plot.
Yeah.
The other thing we find out is that so they are fully questioning her as if she stole magic. So they are really going with this idea that like she stole her wand.
Yeah.
Which
from
doesn't
like
even
another
make
witch or wizard. Like stole
which
it
doesn't
from
even
someone.
make sense.
I
It doesn't
know.
make any sense at all. None. But that's what they're going with. So she like burst into tears because she was like, no, my wand chose me when I was 11 before I went to Hogwarts, blah, blah, blah. I want to read that. Somebody said there was a fic written from Hermione's point of view, and I just want to read the first book just to know like what it was that like. Because like
I would be
she just went to Diagon Alley on her own.
Yeah.
How does she know anything? That's crazy to me.
They would have. Her parents go with her to Diagon Alley in the later books. So would
do
they
you
just
think
been
that
like,
Muggle-born kids get like, you know, when you get accepted to college and they give you like a full packet of stuff to like get you excited that
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
accepted.
Your, like, intro.
Do you think that's
Yeah.
what they get? Like wizarding students just get the like, you've been accepted. Congrats. Here's
Yeah.
your letter from Miss Minerva McGonagall. And they get like a full like pop-up book worth of like material about whatever.
Oh, a pop-up book would be amazing. Slay. I feel
Incredible.
like supposedly, if I'm probably misremembering this, are they supposed to get visits like how Tom Riddle got a visit, or is that because he's an orphan? Because it's like, how else?
It has to be a visit.
Yeah, surely, because the parents are going to be like, "What do you mean?"
Right. But then it wouldn't make sense why Harry didn't get a visit.
Well, he did in the end.
He's still
from
being
Hagrid,
raised by Muggles.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Because he is essentially getting raised like how Tom was. Like, they're his family, but anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So Harry has made his way up to behind like the desk where they're all seated. Mm-hmm. The three. Yaxley, Dolores, and Mafalda. And so he is like, I need to like somehow let Hermione know that I'm here. Yeah. So at one point they get like really loud, so he has a chance to like be like, hey, it's me, Harry, I'm here.
I'm behind you. Which like isn't in his voice. It's going to be in Runcorn's voice. So I don't know how she even like knows it's really him. I would be like,
right. She freaked out and she's like, ah! But they don't notice, luckily.
Thankfully.
Because they're loving how they're skewering this woman or whatever.
Oh, I did want to say, sorry, when they were talking about her Patronus and how it was like, her Patronus was burning so bright because she was clearly in her element. I was like, oh, I actually really like how that was written. Because it's like, she's so evil, but her Patronus is going to be so strong because for her, this is like making her so happy. Like, this is going to be like a killer, what do you call it? Like a touchstone memory for her. Like getting to do this, you know? Ugh, it's so gross. She's so evil.
So then as Dolores like leans over to like look over the edge of the desk or whatever over at this woman, they notice that she is wearing the locket around her neck.
She's got it. She's got it on, girls.
She's got it on. Hermione gasps and is like, "Oh, Dolores, what a beautiful locket.
Yeah. Wow, I've never seen that
Stunning.
before." Yeah.
Where'd you get that? Pandora? Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
Cartier? Yeah. So she's like, oh, you like it? The S stands for Selwyn, which is obviously I'm a descendant of the Selwyn family. Honestly, and then she says the craziest line to me, which is like, this is inbreeding, mama. She goes,
I know.
There are actually few wizarding pureblood families that I'm not related to. And I was like, so then who would you procreate with?
That is not a brag, girl. That is not a brag. Eek.
Mama, this is how you get the Habsburg chin, honey. What are we doing?
The Habsburg
Spread
chin.
the gene pool. Spread it out.
Come on.
Oy, oy, oy. Not that I'm worried that Dolores Umbridge is going to procreate anytime soon.
With anyone.
I'm just saying. Isn't it interesting? Wouldn't you think that she would be an animagus as a cat? Like she loves them so much.
Oh, yeah. She does have an obsession with cats and kittens.
So Harry is so incensed by this information because he's like, she's using this to like show off, like assure everyone of her pure-bloodedness. Yeah, but it's not like, even fucking hers. This. It's not true.
Yeah, it's a complete lie.
Can I just say the fucking happenstance of being like, she saw Mundungus Fletcher selling a locket that has an S on it, And so she was like, I can connect this back to Selwyn, but it's actually Slytherin's locket, which is a horcrux.
Wouldn't it? Well, I guess maybe Slytherin, there hasn't been anyone from Slytherin's line for so long now, but I'm like, I almost am surprised she didn't go straight with that.
Yeah.
Because
I'm a descendant.
Selwyn is like a name we've never heard before. It's like a completely made up.
Never heard. Yeah.
Pure blood family, apparently.
Yeah. Okay. So she says this. Harry gets so mad that he just is like, well, I'm doing it. He shoots a stupefy at Miss Umbridge. She collapses.
Yeah, this was so funny. She literally just like face plants.
Yeah.
Like onto the podium.
Like turns around and sees Harry's like arms or cornrows. What's his name? What's his name? Runcorn.
Runcorn. Cornrow. Arthur Cornrow.
Runcorn's arm sticking out. He shoots Yaxley with a stupefy. He drops too. So then he's like, I'm going to go take care of Mrs. Cattermole, because as soon as they're down, the Dementors are like, it's a field day. We've got a full spread.
Season.
A buffet, honey.
I know, terrifying. So scary.
He's like, Hermione, get the fucking locket off this lady. He goes down to protect Miss Cattermole. He shoots an Expecto Patronum.
He doesn't see that they're going after her. Because Hermione's like, Harry! And he's like, Hermione, if you thought I was just gonna let her do, and she's like, no, the Muggle-born. Like, she's literally gonna get eaten alive.
The woman!
Like, yeah. Mary, help Mary!
She shoots an Expecto Patronum. Obviously, the stag keeps them all away. They retreat back. And he's like helping get her out of the chains that like are chaining her to the witness stand or whatever, and they won't come off with Defendo. So he's like, Hermione, I need your help. And she's like, sorry, I'm just worried that she'll come to and notice the locket isn't there. So I'm trying to make a copy. And she uses a spell. This is a new spell, Geminio, which is just Gemini, which is
twins.
Honestly, twins.
Whatever.
So she does that out of nowhere. Slay. Congrats to Hermione for yet another first time ever using a spell. Incredible. She comes down, gets her out of the chains, and then they leave together. Hermione is able to conjure her Otter Patronus.
After a second.
Although the first time she can't, and Harry makes a comment to Mary, being like, oh yeah, this broad, she can't. It's one of the few things she can't do on the first time. It's like one of the few things I've got over her. Now is not the time.
Yeah, also, Harry, did you just try a spell? Did you just try Geminio and nail it for the first time? Shut your ass up. Are you for real?
Harry, you went into this day with no plan.
Yeah, you were the one that pushed this on your BFFs.
So she gets her otter out. She conjures
otter
her
out.
Otter Patronus. They leave. They're in the hallway. The Dementors retreat because there's Patronuses. He tells everyone, you're all free to go. And I would recommend getting the fuck out of Dodge. All the way out of Dodge.
It's been decided you're all going to just go into hiding. Is what he says.
Yeah. So they basically accompany them back up to the atrium in 2 elevators. As soon as they're there, he's like, oh, we're fucked. Because they are already sealing the exits. Mm-hmm. They know nefarious things are afoot.
Yeah.
Because Ron joins up with them, by the way, and is like, yeah, they know. We got to go. We got to get out of here. It's not good. So they get them over, and this is when, like, the advantage of Harry being this, like, scary character. He's like, do you want me to do to you what I did to Dirk Cresswell? Because I will, yeah. Diva. Leave that fucking thing open. Let these people leave.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. So they're all able to leave except for Mary. Mary's stuck.
Yeah, staying with Ron.
So this all happens at the same time, what I'm about to explain to you.
Yeah.
Real Reg comes in. Mary is like,
who's that?
now hold on. Who the fuck is that? Which one are you? Meanwhile, Yaxley has come to and has entered the atrium and is like, don't let them leave. They're
close those right now.
Intruders or whatever.
Yeah.
Harry points to the guy who was like gonna seal off the exit, decks him, punches him, and is like, oh my God, he just let them all leave. I couldn't believe it. I can't believe he would let them do this. Yaxley.
This was kind of crazy.
Our plans together.
Yeah. You and me. What?
You and me, girl. I'm on your side, honey.
Yeah.
So then, Ron just grabs Mrs. Cattermole and goes into the. They say fireplace, but it doesn't. They didn't come. Did they come out through a fireplace? I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They go up through the exit, and so Harry grabs Hermione and leaves as well as they're firing spells. Okay.
Don't they come out in the bathrooms, though?
They come out in the bathroom. But when they came in, they didn't come in through the fireplace. Did they?
Is it not the fireplaces that is it just all exits? It's not fireplaces that they're sealing? I swore it was fireplaces.
I swore it was fireplaces.
Ooh, do you know what, Adam? Maybe it's everyone else went through the fireplaces, but these guys took the whatever the toilet way up.
Or maybe I just because I know they say when they come to the atrium, they notice that they're sealing the fireplaces. So maybe I just inferred that as being like that's how they leave as well, because they stopped them in the middle of what they were doing.
The Muggle-borns definitely leave that way.
Yeah, where do they go? Can they go to multiple places in one trip?
You're saying. Yeah, you're saying maybe they don't even go through the fireplaces. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Someone will tell us in the comments. Don't worry.
Or they won't, because nobody knows.
They won't. Yeah.
So then they leave. They end up back in the toilets. Which is so funny because they go in. Okay, just to remind everybody, when they go into the ministry, they go in to their gendered bathrooms to come down. But when they come out, maybe it's because they're at the men's one. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
So they come out. They're all in the same bathroom. Mary is still like, Reg, we gotta go. And he's like, I am not.
Yeah,
I'm not
your
Diva.
husband.
I'm sorry. He's stuck down there. He's probably going to get killed. You're probably going to get killed. I shouldn't have taken you out. It's fine.
Yeah.
So as they come out, they notice like Yaxley has also come out of the cubicle because he followed them out of the ministry.
Yeah.
So Harry grabs Ron and Hermione to apparate them to
Grimmauld Place.
Thank you. Number 12 Grimmauld Place. Yeah. And then while doing it, there's this really weird sequence where it's like he could feel them slipping out of his grasp. And then there is they get to Grimmauld Place. He sees the door with the serpent knocker. Yeah. There's a scream and there's a flash of purple light. And then Hermione's hand grabs him in a vice-like grip and they leave again.
She is like... Snatch.
And that's the end of the chapter.
Yeah.
And then I did read the next like 2 pages because I was like, where did it go?
I almost kept it playing, but I was like, no, I'll stop it here. But yeah, a really good way to end a chapter. You would like immediately want to flip to the next page. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's the chapter.
Well done, Adam. I once again was on the edge of my seat. All right, that wraps up this chapter. Next week, we'll be reading chapter 14, The Thief.
The Thief.
We do have a couple of comments I can read real quick. I just got to make my screen a little bigger, my notes app a little bigger. This is from Livia Aurelia Potter. I've seen a lot of pins on Pinterest saying the Golden Trio's power during the movies is 99.9% Hermione. But in the books, it's divided equally. In the books, it is divided equally. In my opinion, Hermione does more in the books than Ron and Harry. Harry and Ron do a lot too, but Hermione planned most of the things. And I just realized that Harry is underrated in his own book and movies. Both of you always have stylish outfits. Everyone always compliments our outfits, Adam. I'm like so surprised.
I think Ari, you look great today. I am literally wearing like a workout long sleeve t-shirt. I don't know what's happening, but thank you.
I always feel like I'm under. I typically throw on a button-up shirt just because it's the most comfortable, like baggy thing to wear.
I didn't even do my hair today.
Yeah, Adam. Come on. But yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Both of you always have stylish outfits. I like the idea of them going to Paris. Yeah, hello. Missed opportunity.
So just get a pain au chocolat and like a little cafe.
They could have done a little Disneyland visit, whatever.
Just a little relax. It's newly opened as of 1992, Disneyland Paris.
Oh, wait. What year is it? What year is this?
This is 1997. 1996.
Okay.
In this book.
Blah, 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 blah. But thank you, Livia. Yes, you were totally right. It is all Hermione. We have been very clear from the beginning we are Team Hermione. Except when she's mean to Fleur.
I do think in the movies, it's definitely like it's definitely like all Hermione. She is running
the show.
Right. And I think I agree, there is more of an even distribution in the books. Mm-hmm. To some extent, but it's still, I feel like, majority Hermione.
Yeah. This next comment is from Tabby Martha. Tabby Martha says, thank you for the extra shout out. Honestly, between you guys, Paper Star Girl and myself, I feel like we have all called out Joanne for the rules not making any sense and being inconsistent. That's right. Also, I agree with Paper Star Girl, and I have to restrain myself from writing essays after each episode. Thank you guys for being so awesome and reading our comments, even the long ones. 5 stars. And then I don't know if you saw this. Oh, yeah, well, you would have because you would have seen the picture. Paper Star Girl left a little string of rainbow hearts under that comment. I love that. And then Tabby Martha also left another comment saying, you heard it here first. The King's Cross chapter will be 2 hours. I will accept nothing less and will be clearing my calendar that day. So we will deliver. I also wanted to say, I got a message from Frances Gerber on the Instagram.
Frances Gerber.
She sent along, let me open it. It's like basically a map. A timeline map.
It's a me chapter.
It's what?
King's Cross is an odd number chapter, so it's me.
Ooh. Frances said, some timeline help for you. If they planted the Whomping Willow in 1971, then the Marauders and Lily graduated in 1978. Harry was born in 1980 when they were 20, and Lily and James died in 1981 when they were 21. And it was a photo from the Harry Potter Wizarding Almanac. They said, this book has all the lore. So.
Wow.
If I can find
they had Harry at
thrift
20.
Shop. Girl, I know. I can't imagine.
That's crazy.
I'm 33 and it's still hard for me to like imagine having kids. And there was like a long time where I was like, I really want to have kids and maybe we still will, but it's just hard for me to like imagine it at this time in my life because so much would have to be different. I still don't
understand how there's no higher education and I don't understand this. I'll never understand. It's fine. I've accepted it. I'll just never understand. It's fine.
But yes, thank you, Frances. If I find that book at like a thrift shop or something, I would buy it. But I'm not going to buy a copy off of like Instagram off of Amazon, because I don't want the money to go directly to Joe. But if anyone's reselling their copy of that, let me know. Hit me up. Anyway, thank you for your guys' comments and messages. We love hearing what you guys think. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts, as well as video versions on the Ampliverse YouTube channel and Spotify. As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so that we can get a perfect Newt score. 5 stars only, or else you'll have to be interrogated by Umbridge in a room full of Dementors. That sounds pretty horrible.
Yeah.
A very unfair trial, I would say.
Oh, for sure.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HBAnxious or YouTube at The Ampliverse. We are hosted on Spotify for podcasters, so thank you to them and are a proud member of The Ampliverse. Check them out at theampliverse.com. Thank you so much, Adam, and have a lovely vacation.
Thank you so much, Ariana. It's good to see you.
And as always, Geminio.